Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you talking about the WrestleMania 30 main event coming up. I guess they set it in stone with Batista winning the Royal Rumble and Randy Orton walking out of the Elimination Chamber as the WWE Champion. As the show went off of the Elimination Chamber, and as you saw on last night, it's going to be it. Randy Orton versus Batista is your announced main event, set in stone for the WrestleMania pay-per-view. Honestly, in my opinion, I would have kept the build going up a little bit. As everybody knows, the longest wait in between pay-per-views is in between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania. If you would have just hyped up Daniel Bryan and kept him on his winning streak just a little bit more, you could have kept the fans have that one little last glimpse of hope, saying that maybe Daniel Bryan could beat Randy Orton, and then he would go on to WrestleMania to face Batista. Maybe even have a little doubt in your mind that by him beating Orton, then it would be a triple threat, because there's so many people out there saying, just add him to the main event. Honestly, in my opinion, Bryan didn't win the Rumble. Bryan didn't win the Elimination Chamber. He shouldn't just magically be placed into this title match because he's so hot. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't go along with the way WrestleMania has been booked, the way that WrestleMania has been planned for all these years. I didn't like it when Shawn was entered into WrestleMania 20, but then again, I really wasn't watching a whole bunch at that time either, but it was always just sort of a mystery how he just wound up in that spot. It always just seemed like because it was the anniversary, WrestleMania, that they just let him in there because 10 years ago, he had a great match against Razor Ramon in the ladder match and stole the show, and he just sort of got to walk in there and just said, well, I'll be in the main event. It wasn't until very recently when I watched his road to WrestleMania that year. We had the no-finish match with Triple H at the Royal Rumble 2002, and just sort of like, and that's how he wound up, sneaking his way into there. I don't know. It's the match. It is what it is. I saw one great tweet on Twitter from somebody that said, nobody goes to WrestleMania for one match. It's to feel the atmosphere and just be a part of the whole show as a whole. No matter what Mania I've always been to, there's always been one shining moment in the whole thing. People like to, crap on WrestleMania 27 for what it was, but Undertaker versus Triple H is a match that I'll never forget. Triple H being my favorite guy going in there, and just having that one, moment of hope where I really thought he was going to finish it. I mean, everybody in that arena thought the streak was dead, and it was over. WrestleMania 28, the actual main event, was the reason why everybody was there. They did it right that year. Rock versus Cena, the match everybody wanted to see. Whether if you were on Team Rock or whether you're on Team Cena, I think everybody walked out of there knowing they saw a great show that people were going to remember for years to come. It was just that kind of a show and that kind of a moment. It was just an awesome, awesome feeling walking into that WrestleMania. It was an awesome feeling walking out of that WrestleMania. Batista, they got to get people on board. They got to, people, find a way to like this guy, because if he goes to WrestleMania in this kind of atmosphere right now, I think everybody remembers the ECW show, Batista versus Big Show. It was an ECW championship match. It was in the ECW arena. Maybe it was in the Hammerstein Ballroom, one or the other. But fans did not want to see Batista. Fans did not want to see Big Show. Fans didn't want to see, I don't know what they wanted to see that night, but that's one of the first shows I can really remember just being really hijacked by the fans, and it just took over, and they weren't going to let WWE, give them anything else than what they wanted. That was very weird, very fun, and a very memorable show to watch. I go back and watch that one every once in a while. I mean, it's hard to find, wrestling fans who paid to get into a show chanting at the people watching at home to change the channel. ECW was on Tuesday nights. There was no other wrestling to change to. It wasn't like the Monday Night Wars. The people at WCW Nitro chanting to change over to Monday Night Raw to make sure they weren't missing something over there because there wasn't shit going on in the ring in front of them. The fans will eat up Batista. I mean, easily. Honesty. I don't think anybody wants to see this return, but it's funny because for 2 years, people kept saying, I want to see Big Dave. I want to see Big Dave. Wrestling was better when Batista was around. And Batista would get on the Twitter machine, and he'd be all like, I'm not coming back till the PG shit's over with because I can't put up with it and I don't like it. I don't like the way they make us all turn it down and not be the people that we want to be. And if you loved it so much, why were you gone so long? That's what didn't make sense about his speech. And now they're hyping up SmackDown, which is going to be in Milwaukee tonight, and we're going to see it on Friday. Batista's big speech where he's going to let it all hang out and say what he wants to say to the WWE Universe. I think he said it all last night. I don't know what else he's going to say. He told us how much he loved us on Raw. It's not like he's really going to go out there and cut some huge shoot promo and turn heel a night later. It doesn't really make much sense. But, I mean, is there anybody in the world who's not going to pick Batista to win the championship? I think this is as easy as any of the Lesnar matches we've seen as of late against Big Show, Mark Henry. I don't think. I just think it's pretty easy. I mean, Meltzer said it best when he said they already promised it to Meltzer already said that they already promised it to Dave. I mean, it's his. It's Batista's. Come back, you can win the Rumble. Come back, we'll put you in the main event. Come back and we'll make you champion. The only thing we can hope is that Extreme Rules, maybe Daniel Bryan can win the championship. I mean, that's the only thing we're really running with. Daniel Bryan getting the WrestleMania moment this year, beating Triple H, that's the one thing that I'm hanging on to. That's an easy match to pick. Bryan versus Triple H, Daniel Bryan's going to win. And then you got Undertaker versus Lesnar. Undertaker's going to win. Then you got Triple H versus Bryan. Daniel Bryan's going to win. Pretty easy to pick these main events. Slam dunk. WWE might throw one curveball out there to make us change it, but I don't know. Taker's not losing. And Bryan's not losing. I don't know. Pretty easy to me.